What's up, y'all? All right, got another DIY project here I'm gonna get started on. I got a sending unit on the bus here, the fuel sending unit. We got to change it out because the fuel gauge is not correct. We've been like doing a guessing game with the mileage, so I'm gonna get started on this thing. And I haven't seen really too many videos of changing one of these out. This is 7.3 diesel, 1997. It's kind of like the RV type, Class C, I would say. It's got a square 50-gallon fuel tank. So I got the brand new sending unit and we're gonna give it a shot. Stay tuned. Here's the new one. Picked it up, Ford dealer. They say the black deal, you know, the cone looking thing right there, this usually goes bad. It goes brittle. So it gets brittle and breaks off, so maybe that's what we got going on there. But all right, we're gonna give it a shot. Got all the tools we need. We'll see if it works. All right, I'm underneath here. I'm gonna try my best to film this. We got like 3 straps underneath here that hold the tank in. And it's gonna be hard because I'm rolling around on the creeper trying to film it, but I did spray the other side with some PB Blaster just to, you know, lube up the bolts and stuff. Let me see here. Try to get over here. Got all these. 1 strap, there's 2 right there, and then 1 right here. I'm gonna drain it. There's a drain plug on the bottom here, so I know I probably got about 1/4 of a tank in here, so I'm gonna drain it and see if we can get some more of the weight off of here. It's a pretty big tank. There's the filler tubes right there. I'm gonna take those hose clamps off there, and then the plug. I saw the plug was right. You can see it, the wire loom right there, the plug for the sending unit. I'm gonna pull it and yeah, get her going. So I'm gonna try to take that drain plug off the bottom of the tank and see if I can catch this diesel. I don't think there's too much left in there, but as a precaution, I'm putting the drain pans just in case I gotta think fast and not have a big old mess everywhere. But I'm gonna try it and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna actually use this jack. This is a pretty cool jack. I'm gonna put this rear end on jack stands, but this is a really cool 12-volt jack. It runs on a cigarette lighter or the gator clips, you know, the clips for a battery. It'll lift quite a bit, man. I mean, it lifts the back of this, pretty much it's like a Super Duty 1-ton vehicle. People were saying it, big motorhomes, Class A, they use it for that, but really handy little jack if you're looking for one. I got it on Amazon. I think it was like 200 bucks, but man, it's a lifesaver. It's really easy to run, man. It's got a little switch here, up, down, you know, and then you can actually unscrew the jack here. But I'm gonna get this thing up on jack stands and kind of get it up where I can get the gas tanks and everything underneath there with a funnel and stuff, and that way it's up a little bit. I got a little more room to work with, but we'll see how it goes. All right, about to jack up this side, but this is bottle jack in action here. Kind of loud though. Pretty handy though if you're on the side of the road and need a jack. It's pretty cool. this jack stand and see what happens. All right, coming down. There we go. It's got a little switch right here. Pretty cool stuff, man. All right, I'm gonna pull the drain plug, already sprayed it with some PB Blaster and see if I can drain the rest of the fuel out of here. All right, draining the fuel. Got another tank backup right here, so we'll see what happens. I'm just finishing up draining everything. I bet you I pulled probably 16 gallons of fuel out of the sucker. I'm glad I drained it, because it would have been pretty heavy. I didn't think there was that much in there. It said a quarter, but I've been guessing on the gauge. That's why I'm changing out the sending unit. So I'm gonna get ready to drop these braces right here. There's 3 of them, and see if we can drop the tank. I gotta get up here on the, it's kind of hard to see, but right here on the filler neck tubes, I'm gonna take the hose clamps off there and get ready to drop it. Here we go. Little trick, get these old hoses off. Just use one of these picks, you know, not super sharp point, you know, and stick it in behind there. And you can walk it around like that, and spray a little bit of WD-40 in there and just kind of loosen it up, and you can walk it around these hoses. Because sometimes they get all dry rotted and stuff and they're a pain in the butt, but just a little oil and one of these little picks, kind of walk it around and loosen it right up for you. So I got the hoses off there, off the fill neck tubes here, and then there's a little ground wire you gotta take off too. And I'm getting ready to unbolt the tank here. And I'm gonna get the jack underneath it and then lower it down and unhook it once I get it down about halfway. So I bought this attachment at Harbor Freight to give me a wider support for the tank when it comes down. So I got the jack up underneath there, and I got like a 2x2 board just to come across. I zip tied it with some heavy duty zip ties just to keep the tank from going the opposite direction. I think I got it pretty good secured here. I'm gonna start unbolting the bolts and we'll see if we can lower it on down. I'm gonna have to disconnect the fuel lines once I get it a space where I can get in there and reach them. So I got the tailgate down, so I got the fuel tank down, ended up cutting the fill tubes. They were kind of dry rotted, so I'm gonna replace them. I got new ones. But here you can see the fuel lines there. I'm gonna take those, there's little clips right there. I'm gonna take those off. I'm gonna use this toolkit here I got from Harbor Freight. It's got assortments here. They kind of just spread out and go around the line here. You snap around, and then you got to slide this little collar right inside the line, and it pops it. It'll get that clip loose where it'll slide off of there. And I'll show that here in a minute. But yep, I got it down, and we're getting there. So you're going to take this, there's a little metal clip right here. You want to take that, pop that off of there. And I always like just to spray these with a little bit of lube right there. Same thing with the other one. This is your send and return, in coming and outgoing lines for your sending unit. Now, here's the tool. You want to just put it on the line right there, and it just snaps over the line like that. And then you're going to push it inside the coupling right here. And it should release it. Might be a pain in the butt. Might have to work on it a little bit, but you just push it in and get it to release. Might have to try different sizes and see which one fits the best in there. But that's how this works. You just gotta keep messing with it until it breaks free, because sometimes these pumps have been on there for years, you know, in the sending unit, so it takes a while to get this line broke free because it's been on there so long. But just keep working it, and I'm trying to do it with one hand here with the camera, but just keep on, keep it on. I'll show you on the next one here. So I ended up using the metal tool here. It worked the best. And just keep wiggling it back and forth and it popped off. That's the first line there, and you just repeat it on the second line over there. All right, I got both lines up, and I had to pin the lines up and like turn them up because one of them was leaking fuel, so just turned it up and so it won't leak everywhere on the ground. But yep, getting ready to take the tank out now. All right, we got it out. I'm gonna clean off around the sending unit right there and then unbolt it and see what it looks like in there. Just make sure you the dust off of it. That way when you open it up, you ain't getting dirt down inside there. When I lowered it down, I used little moving dollies, those little 3-wheel dollies, and I lowered it down to the ground to get it out from underneath there because it was real tight coming out. So just thought I'd let you know. I had to use 2 ratchet straps and hold it, get the jack out from underneath it, and then lower it down on the moving dollies and then roll it right out. So I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna roll it up underneath there, use the ratchet straps, pull it up to the frame, put the jack underneath it, and then jack it up the rest of the way. That's the plan. So I'm gonna get to unbolting this sending unit, put the new one in, and see what we got. Sure, once you loosen it up, you know, you start loosening the bolts up, blow it off again. As you do it, leave more dirt there. This is actually 13 millimeter socket here. It's a good little handy little thing from DeWalt too. A little 1/2-inch drive, or 3/8 drive, sorry. DeWalt, pretty cool, handy little tool. But yeah, we're gonna see what's inside here, man. My guess is that black piece on the bottom is broke off. It looks like this is probably the original one, man. It's a 1997, so let's see what it looks like here. First time coming out. Oh yeah. Yep. Man, that thing is deteriorated, boy. Yeah, see that black thing's gone. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna put it in a strain pan here. But that would probably be why the gas gauge is not working. Man, that thing is deteriorated bad in there. I'm gonna have to clean this tank out. Get a flashlight. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, see that? Man, that was pretty nasty in there. A lot of nasty stuff in there. That would be why, man. All right, now we gotta get to cleaning. And you see this gasket too, that rubber gasket around the side there. We're gonna have to peel that up out of there and get the new one in there. All right, here we go. Well, as you can see, I got the tank out. I pulled the sending unit, and the whole bottom's got like a sludge in there, and it does not look that clean. It actually has a baffle in between there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour a bunch of purple power stuff here. This stuff here. recommended by a buddy of mine. I'm gonna pour, I got about 13 gallons. I'm gonna pour a bunch in there just to slosh around and let it soak overnight. And then I'm gonna take well, broke out the little John Deere, man. I'm gonna start pouring this purple stuff in there and see if I can get it all cleaned out. These are the moving dollies I used on the bottom just to wheel it on the ground once you get it low enough. This thing on the jack, it's high and it catches on the fender when you pull it out. But yep, I'm gonna let this thing soak overnight, and then I'm gonna get a pressure washer and wash it out and let it dry out. So we got it as clean as I can get it. So we'll give it a shot. What's up, y'all? Well, I got the tank out and I got it full of purple stuff, purple power, and I'm gonna give it a good old pressure wash, clean this sucker out. There's the tank, what it looks like before. I let it soak. Purple stuff you can kind of see in there, nasty. Here we go. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen a tip like this, but man, the guy, I went to Northern Tool Supplies and he hooked me up, man. This thing's pretty awesome. It like shoots out like 2 streams and they like do like figure 8s, and if you got an abrasive surface that you're trying to work on, man, this sucker does a trick. It's pretty cool. I got like a 3,500 PSI pressure washer, but watch a little bit of it. See here, you'll hear it. It might be loud. Pretty cool stuff, man. So I got this pretty cool little attachment for cleaning gutters, so I can get up underneath there, just kind of walk around. Got a barrel just draining everything in there. You can just walk around with it. Pretty cool. I got a little bit better, and it's still kind of spotty, but all in all, I ended up having to tip it up on its side and get it shop vac and just clean up the corner and just kind of tilted it on its end. But I think that's probably as good as I'm gonna get it. You can see some of the metal now, a little bit better. But it won't be long. I think it's got a baffle in it right here. It's kind of hard to see, but not bad. A lot of baffles in this tank. But we'll clean it out and let her dry and go from there. I got a little bit more fan on this one. I'm drying it fast because I'm running out of time. I gotta get this thing back on the road here pretty quickly, or I just let it sit out in the sun for a few days, you know. But just it is what it is. But this is gonna do the trick. It's almost dry now. I got it all dried out, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the drain plug in while I got it. I actually got it up on the old John Deere here. Just put it up on forks, and that way it's easier to work on. I got some thread locker Permatex orange gel, so I'm gonna put it on this drain plug so we make sure it's not gonna come undone later on down the road. This drain plug is just a 3/8 drive ratchet. I actually put it on a 1/2" drive just to give me a little more leverage, but it actually, the drain plug has a magnet on it, so it catches metal too. So if you do pull that plug, you might find some metal on the bottom of it. It's because it's magnetic. It'll draw it in. So I'm just going to tighten it down and make sure it's snug. You don't want to over tighten, but just enough to where it don't get loose. All right, I'm gonna lay this down on these moving dollies here. They're real low profile to the ground, and it's gonna make it easier to push this thing and get it up underneath the frame. It's just what I figured out. So we'll lay her on down and we'll be right back. All right, got it on the dollies. It's real easy to push now. And I didn't put the sending unit or any of the vent pieces on there because I wanted to make sure I didn't break anything when I was setting it down. But we're getting ready to install the sending unit and the vents and get ready to slide it up underneath there. All right, I got the tank at the back of the bus here, and I'm gonna install the new sending unit here, and here's the vents. There's 2 of them. I went ahead and pressure washed them. I'm gonna go ahead and, they got a little rubber O-ring. I'm gonna spray a little WD-40 on there. I got my WD here. Ratchet straps, I'm gonna use these ratchet straps to get it up off the ground, and then I'm gonna put the jack up underneath it. It'll give me, because the jack won't fit underneath with the moving dollies on it. It won't fit underneath it, so I'm gonna install this brand new sending unit. I'm gonna leave the caps on. I'll probably undo the wire and just lay it across there, but I'm gonna leave the caps so no dirt gets down in there, because sometimes dirt underneath the frame and stuff will get back down in there, so we don't want to do that. So, all right, I'll be right back. I got the new rubber O-ring here too. I'm gonna spray a little WD. Make sure you do that, and then I would spray these studs too, just so you know they're all ready to go. All right, I'm putting in the new sending unit. Just make sure when you install this, you watch out. Just be real careful with that float and just angle it down in there. And you want to just take your time because it's real delicate. And you want to face your tubes, back towards your front of the truck. Make sure you don't, because this thing can go either way, all the way around 360 on this. So make sure your lines, are going back towards the front of the truck this way. And your nozzles are here. It's an easy mistake, man. I know it can happen real easy, but I got that little O-ring lubed up, and I'm getting ready to tighten her on down. I got all the nuts on there, just started finger tight, and I'm gonna run them down with this DeWalt, and just make sure when you tighten them down that you do like a star pattern, almost like you do on your tires, just so it goes down evenly. You don't want to go all the way around like this because it could bend that sending unit. It's real thin metal, so you want to make sure it's flat and flush on that O-ring. This is also a 13mm socket, just so you know. So I got my straps on the center. There's 3 of these tank straps. I got it on the center one, and make sure you give you enough strap to get it up off the ground, at least probably 6-8 inches. You want to do the same thing on the other side too, right here, and just keep jacking it up until you get it up, on level and enough off the ground. And then the jack the jack will support it. Sorry, the lighting's not that great. See if I can get it in there. And we'll just keep on keeping on. Just go up little by little. It'll balance out that middle strap, but just make sure you get enough. It's enough strap to work with. And power lines, we call it two blocking. If you don't give yourself enough strap, because it'll bottom out and then you have to start all over and re-catch. So we call it two blocking. But just do it on both sides. I got a strap on each side and I got it on the center strap, pretty close to where it's going to bolt up to the frame, so it's balanced out and it'll get, go straight up. Once you get it up, and then you can slide the floor jack up underneath it and then pick it up. The rest of the way, take your straps off. All right, I got it on the jack. I'm about to hook up the fuel lines on top because I got a little gap, probably 5 or 6 inches, to get my hands in there to hook the lines up. But when you got the bus or RV on the jack stands, the back end of the bus is higher on the tank than the front of the tank. So you can see I got it, this handy little brace or crossbar. You can buy it Harbor Freight. It worked out pretty good because you can adjust it. I got that one. I'm actually zip tied like a 2x2 there just to get it where it'll stay level on there. But this actually works pretty good. So I'm getting ready to attach the gas lines and get ready to put it up into the frame. So I'm getting ready to attach the gas lines. I got it, probably about maybe 4 inches or something. It's real close right here. You want to get as close as you can because the lines are so tight. But I pulled the caps off the sending unit, and I got the plug in. I got it somewhat close to where it's going to come across. You want to get everything in position so you don't have to fish for it when it's mounted. You want to get it as close as possible. But I remember the blue was the little bit bigger line here, the blue, and then the gray is this line here. So I'm gonna bring them down and pop them on. They should go back pretty easy coming on because I lubed them up when I took them off, so they should be ready to go. I got the fuel lines connected and I made sure those safety clips are on there so they won't pop off. And then you need to make sure, like I say, that the wire is ready to go when you raise this up on the inside of the frame, that you can grab it. But yep, everything's connected. We're ready to go up with her. All right, I got the tank back in there. Took a little bit of finagling. Just take your time and just kind of, I use like a piece of board, just kind of pry it back and forth to line it up on the bolt holes. And now I'm going to connect the neck tube and the vent tube. I actually got a new one, just it's 1.5 inches for the filler neck tube. I bought a new one from O'Reilly's. The old one was kind of brittle, so I'm going to replace the vent line too. I think that was the 3/4 line. Both of them are fuel lines, so I was able to purchase both of them, just about 2 feet of each. I'm gonna connect those. I already got the sending unit power electrical connection done right there. I can reconnect to that. And then the tank is bolted in, all 6 bolts. And here we're gonna connect the neck and we'll be ready to roll. So I got the filler neck hose on. I'm gonna connect this side. I'm gonna cut it. Oh, like I said, I ordered 2 feet from O'Reilly's, or didn't order it, they had it in stock. It's just a straight piece of fuel line, 1.5 inches. I use this tool. It's a pretty little handy tool on the end of my little screwdriver thing. This is a Milwaukee little angle bit. Put a 5/16 hex head on there, and you can reach up in there and get that hose clamp, like this. So you can reach up in there. It's a little handy It's made by Milwaukee, a little 90-degree bit extension. Works great. I love this thing. So I'm gonna cut this right here. I'm gonna cut the rest of that the 1.5 inches, and then I'm gonna add the vent tube the same way. I recommend spraying some kind of lube on, on the nozzles there, on the nipples there. Same thing right here. I always just squirt a little bit of WD-40 or any kind of oil just so it slides on there real easy, because you'll be fighting it, man, if you can't get it that first time. So just make sure it's lubed up real good. Just spray the outside and it'll slide right on real easy. All right, got it all hooked up. Got the new vent tube on there, the new filler neck tube. And don't forget to attach this little ground right here too to the frame. And it's all in, man. It's a good little job. After running the old bus here for a couple months now, the sending unit was a success. It was a pretty lengthy process, but we got her done. I would recommend getting a dealer sending unit. Make sure it's straight from the manufacturer, not aftermarket, because it's a pretty good little job. But thank y'all for watching. Hope this video helped you out.